Hello and welcome. This is the second podcast from Critical Mess. I'm one of the three hosts, Pilgrim.
Sup?
And we've also got two other hosts with us here.
It's your boy, Sleeve Monkey. Smash that like button.
And I'm Doodle. Oh God.
Yep. So how are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Fine.
Yeah, just had a tasty meal. I'm ready for this.
Ready?
I've got my yogurt, I've got my chocolate, and I'm all ready to talk.
How's everyone's week?
It was an excellent week.
Good.
Pretty shitty.
Oh, really?
I've had a really bad cold all week.
That sucks, man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that.
pretty
I don't know that.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Well, stay hydrated.
I missed,
Stay hydrated. Drink.
I am.
Yeah.
You know me.
Get lots of yogurt.
That's the yogurt. That's.
Oh, I've drunk so much yogurt this week.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing.
So in Sweden, you drink yogurt, don't you? It's like weird fucking backwards country. You drink yogurt,
Yeah, it's
and
called,
you like eat.
It's called
You
drink
eat
yogurt.
milk. It's pretty backwards.
It's not milk.
No,
It's not milk, okay?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like in Sweden, you drink the yogurt and you eat the milk, whereas in the rest of the world, you like drink milk and eat yogurt. But anyway,
Yeah.
How could you eat yogurt? It's ridiculous.
Have you never had
with
it
like a
before?
spoon?
Yeah, but no, you drink yogurt, man.
All right.
No, but you can.
It's like a liquid.
Well,
But what do you do with like yogurt cups?
yogurt cups.
Do you drink those
What
too?
the hell is a yogurt cup? Oh
I
wait.
suppose you eat porridge as well, huh? Ridiculous. Yeah. How's your week, Monkey?
Yeah.
Sweet Monkey.
No, it's been all right. It's been all right. The wife has been away, so I've been just chilling, and I haven't played games like once, even though she's been away. I've been saving myself for you know what. The game.
I think you better immediately clarify that.
For shit. For Red Dead Redemption, not for violent lovemaking. For Red Dead Redemption 2, which is coming out pretty soon.
All right, thank God. Okay, that's good. Good news. So, you may be wondering why I've gathered you all here tonight, and I want to.
No, really, we literally talked about it like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, don't. This is.
Don't ruin it. Don't spoil it.
You don't know that.
Don't pull open that curtain. Let me just pull that curtain back.
Sorry, I'll tape it back. There we go.
Okay, that's good. So, I want to talk tonight about achievements,
Like-
in and not a sort of sense of pride and accomplishment, but more a kind of, as in the unlockable little things that ding, achievements in Steam or your PSN trophies and whatever they're called on Xbox.
Right.
Because, so just to start things off, when I think about achievements, there's I can think of good ones and I can think of bad ones. I can think of games that have in general good ones and games that have in general bad ones. And for me, bad achievements are when it's stuff like you've walked 5,000 miles or you've collected 2,000 socks.
Or like, well done, you started the game.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or that one you like.
But let me get to that.
Yeah, let's get to that.
The good ones are things that I promote you to play the game or to do something differently to how you otherwise would do it. So, and then I'm thinking about games like Europa Universalis 4, where some of the achievements are stuff like, start as this Indian minor kingdom, but seize control of Germany, for example. And that makes you try something which you otherwise wouldn't have done. So yeah, those are the sorts of...
I see.
Yeah, that's what I think about achievements.
That makes sense. I mean, you've actually just made a pretty compelling argument. I was about to just like shoot you down and say that these achievements are bullshit, but that makes sense. What you said, I just never understood the point of them until right now, I guess. But I just never understood. I just like why. I'm playing the game anyway. The achievement is that I did something, and then what happens is I just get this funny trophy that doesn't do anything. It doesn't give me anything. It's not even really status because I never look at anybody else's trophies. I don't think anybody looks at my trophies, or if they do, then pathetic.
Yeah.
So I just
No, but it like gives you something to work towards. Like it increases like the longevity of the game in a way.
yeah, but I can kind of understand in a game when you have achievements, and then maybe it unlocks something. Like it'll unlock a nice like outfit that your avatar can wear, or maybe it unlocks some kind of weapon or something. But when it's just the achievement, it's like a token that you can redeem for nothing.
Yeah. So that's
What? Mm.
what were you going to say, Doodle?
No, I mean I just like I don't know if I really agree because like the Uncharted series.
Sure, I'm familiar with it.
I platinumed all three of the first games.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of
with a PlayStation?
what kind
that
of-
means I get every achievement.
what kind of shit do you have to do to platinum that game?
That's like kill 100 people by pulling them off a cliff or something.
Okay.
Which would be quite weird to do on a normal playthrough.
But that would I think
for
I think
example.
that would fall into the category of what Pilgrim just said was a bad achievement, right? Because that's just like do something that you're going to do anyway, but grind it like 100 times.
Well, no, Doodle's saying that that's not something you would normally do.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but it's not either an interesting way to play the game. No, you'd only do that to get that achievement. Now fight.
So this is one of those nuances. It's like, yeah, on the one hand, if it's something like, say if GTA, I mean, maybe the GTA has this achievement, I don't know, but say it has one where it's like kill 100 pedestrians by accelerating a golf cart, but jumping out of it before it kills the pedestrian that you just killed, and do that 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on the one hand, yeah, you probably wouldn't have done that 100 times without the achievement. But on the other hand, it's not a very interesting thing to do.
Exactly.
You're not really discovering more of the game as it was intended.
Yeah, it's just another
achievement.
grind, really. But for this grind,
No, but achievements aren't really to make you explore more of the world as it was intended. That should be the game experience.
well, this is what.
Well, I don't know. This is where I sort of disagree, and it might be coming from the world of strategy games. But that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about how you would extrapolate that into games that more the sort of the adventure games that you guys play. More
Yeah.
like, Uncharted.
Well, so the achievements I've never really understood because I just didn't. It's just its own thing that they introduced, and I just never really got the value of them. I guess, and maybe I'm just being too materialistic. I want it to translate into something. Because did you guys ever play Super Hot?
no.
Oh
I
man,
think I played it actually on
you
your
guys,
PlayStation.
you
once.
guys missed out if you didn't play Super Hot. That is a phenomenal game. It's very short. It's like a concept game, really, but it's excellent. The concept,
Yeah.
right? It's that time only moves when you move, basically. So if you look around, time
Yeah, I'm
moves.
familiar with it.
Right, excellent game. And when you completed the run through, it then unlocked. So it was a very short game, so it didn't have much replay value initially, I guess. But when you finished the game, there were then other run throughs that you could do. So it would be now play the game, but only using a katana, or now play the game, but only taking one shot per level, I guess, or something like that.
But does that then lock you to be able to do that?
No, it didn't. You could break that rule. I seem to recall, in which case you just wouldn't be able to progress to the next part. So I guess it's the same thing as what you were saying, but just not an achievement in that sense.
Yeah. So just wanted to say one thing about how it doesn't translate into anything material.
Mm.
So that's true, but you just jangle something in the back of my brain.
Okay.
I seem to remember when the Xbox 360, I think it was, when you started getting those weird, I mean, maybe you still have those weird Xbox avatars, but I remember when it was a new thing and I was quite excited about making, because I had an Xbox back then and I wanted to make my guy wear different things.
Yeah, I think I remember.
I think in fact it was
In that latex suit, it was weird.
I think it was actually around the release of Red Dead. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I just seem to remember that there was some game where if you achieved a certain Xbox thing, it unlocked a sort of cosmetic item.
It's Left 4 Dead, and it's the medkit.
Ah, that's it, exactly. But was that the only instance? Did they immediately after that decide it's better to squeeze money out of people for cosmetics? I guess that's what they did.
I guess, yeah, that kind of must be part of it, that you can't really give people things for free.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, you could give people cosmetics, but now you can't even give that because.
God of War, for example, which is a game that we both played and really enjoyed, and which Doodle played and enjoyed slightly less. There were, to put it mildly, so a lot of people platinum that. I think it's one of the most platinum games on the PlayStation. I think, but I remember one of them being that you just have to find all of Odin's ravens and kill them.
Yeah, man, those spectral ravens, these little small green things the size of a head.
Yeah, and I don't, if I recall correctly, they don't actually make any noise, do they? Or maybe they caw. I can't remember. But you kind of have to really have a keen eye to spot them, or do what I suspect most people did, which is just find a guide online.
Yes.
I don't know. To me,
well, that's what most people do,
right? But that just doesn't seem like it's not an achievement in the real sense of it being an achievement, because nor is it like an achievement in any kind of reward sense.
That's because you're doing it from more like a completionist sense.
Yeah, but that's just grindy to me. Personally, that's
well, maybe it's not your thing, but for some people, it's fun to do that. Because with like Uncharted, one of the achievements was like to find all the treasures in the game, and
holy shit,
like,
you did that?
I did it on all 3 games.
Holy crap! Did you follow like a YouTube guide?
Well, no, not YouTube guides, but walkthroughs. Only on the ones I couldn't find.
Oh, man.
I could find most of them because I was
lead.
I was a pro.
Yeah.
But so the thing about that is, I can sort of. Okay, maybe it's because I work with evolution, but I can sort of trace the sort of evolutionary history of this feature back towards the sort of Assassin's Creed, the early ones.
I think even
where they introduced
earlier than that.
But do you think even earlier?
I think so, but I think I know what you're going to say. But please carry on.
That there'd be these like little items that you had to, 100 places on the map you had to go to.
Do you remember in GTA 3, even back in GTA 3, there were the secret packages? Do you remember that?
Oh yes,
even I remember those.
And there were secret packages, and I think if you found 50 of them, you got something, and then if you found 100 of them, you got something else. I think.
Yes. So the thing is, with those things, part of those were actually a sort of puzzle. I mean, and in a way, some of Odin's ravens are that in God of War. You'll be standing on one of the towers in that central lake and see one circling somewhere, and the puzzle is to find out where you have to stand in order to go out. I quite like that.
I think it was very well done, for sure, in God of War.
Yeah. But some of them were just like, just sitting there. But when it comes to those secret packages, some of them, because I remember, I think it was, maybe actually in GTA, you drove to places or went to places you otherwise wouldn't have gone to in the map.
Absolutely.
So in a way, it was like a sort of an Easter eggy way for the developers to say, look at all this stuff we made that maybe you haven't seen.
I guess it encouraged exploration in a game for GTA 3, which was otherwise, I guess, lacking quite a bit of content. I remember being very happy to just drive around and climb up on buildings and walk around. But I think, in today's world, it wouldn't fly. So it encouraged discovery and also rewarded discovery and exploration. It then became, I guess, I would say, bastardized in games like Assassin's Creed. Well, not necessarily. I mean, maybe it's a bit harsh for the original Assassin's Creed, but definitely for many games now, where it just becomes, just a way to pad out your game.
Yeah,
and it's not rewarding anymore. It's literally just another feature so that you can claim that there's more stuff to do, or so that the world seems more populated.
And why is it there? I mean, part of it, fine, if it's like about going to new environments and so on. But in God of War, for example, that world was so stuffed full of things that when I wanted to go back to do those ravens, I ended up going back to places I'd already thoroughly explored. I just hadn't seen the raven, so it wasn't really that I was discovering anything new with them.
Exactly.
Some of them were, spoiler alert, some of them were perched in the Valkyrie battle arenas. And once you've killed the Valkyrie there, you've seen the arena, you've had the epic fight there, and you're sort of done with that area. And it then seems bizarre to have to go back to throw an axe at a raven.
No, I mean it's a completionist thing, of course.
Yes, so this is the thing.
It's
Is
like
why
the same with like Witcher 3, with like the question marks on the map. It's like you're not exploring the
well,
area.
well. So
It's
this
the same
is
forest. It's just like a different.
But the question marks
monster
brought you to a quest.
this is the point I wanted to make.
No, not always.
No,
so
this
they just took you to like a monster spawn place.
That's
Well,
true.
this is the point I want to make to Doodle's view of completionism and achievements. That if there's random encounters and question marks, they typically have something like in GTA. It'll be a stranger with some weird mission or whatever. But these items
They give you nothing.
It's it's not really content. It's more just. I mean, the game would be essentially the same without them.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
But
I mean, like many of the chests in.
But it's funny
Skellige,
because does it not?
sorry, many of the question. Sorry.
But does it not make you wonder then? So obviously the question marks. You say it's completionist, but at least each time there's something remotely interesting. When you're driving around or running around in, I don't know, Assassin's Creed or Far Cry or whatever, and it's literally just go there and pick up a parcel. It's just not giving you anything. And how
why am I doing this?
Well, and how far would you go for it to be completionist? If they said you get a trophy if you press the Z key 500,000 times in one game, like, would you do it? Like how?
That's an interesting experiment
some
for some
people-
developer to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like one of my friends is like really completionist, and he's like described himself as a bit of a perfectionist. So he likes to try and get 100% in games,
But okay. But I mean, you're calling yourself a perfectionist because you've done something which developers have arbitrarily set out
no,
for
but
you
more
to
like
do.
it is like as he describes, it's like his personality type kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
The perfectionist.
yeah, autistic, sure, but
Here's the point I want to make about that. So I'm also a ruthless completionist, and it pains me when I have achievements I
citation
haven't
needed.
finished. Well, this is the thing. It pains me when I have stuff I haven't done. Sometimes, though, you'll find a game. I mean, a perfect example of this is a game that I have played to death. I think it's my most played game on Steam, Civilization 4. Now, I played that game. It pales in comparison to Doodle's Dota hours, but I mean it's over 600 hours of me playing that game, and for me that's an awful lot to dedicate to one game. And I don't think I think maybe I've got a little over half of them, because some of them are just these extremely rare.
Well, I
achievements.
seem to remember you saying there was like an Indiana Jones one or something.
Yes,
Oh,
that
in
one
Civ
I
5.
actually got in Civ 5. That's called Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And what was?
Yeah.
So in Civilization 5, you can build archaeologists that can dig up historical sites and find artifacts, and you can send them to other people's territory. And so I think in that one, if I remember correctly, you need to have a American archaeologist digging up an artifact on Egyptian territory while standing next to a German archaeologist.
Yeah.
Then you get
That's
that
exactly
achievement.
And was this a hidden
Um,
one, or was it? Or do you know about it? So,
I think it was hidden. It was sort of
Most of the achievements for Civ are hidden.
and is that? I mean, okay, is that good achievements or is that bad achievements?
For me. So this is the thing. For me, that's a good achievement because because as you point out, Sleep Monkey, it's not a they don't have any material value, so it's okay for them to just be pop culture references which are just hidden to find. And so for me, it bothers me in one sense, because when I see that you could in principle get all 500 achievements or whatever. On the other hand, I've sort of accepted that they're sort of extremely rare things which when you get make you go, huh, do the sensible chuckle gif.
Yeah.
And that sort of is for me a different kind of achievement, but still quite a nice one.
Okay. Now here's a
yeah.
question regarding achievements, because that facility could very easily have been in the game, and if it was in the game, they could have done something like let Mahatma Gandhi wear Indiana Jones's hat if you got that, as a little reward, which would be brilliant. However, for some reason, I remember this happening. I don't think it was that long ago. All these achievements became their own thing.
Yeah.
They're in their own
Yeah.
self-contained achievement world.
Yeah.
as in they're not. Yeah. So which means that other people can see them, which means that they follow a standardized system, which means you can see how rare things are, how many, why.
Yes. Well, I think it's
Well,
so. Sorry, you go first, Doodle.
I don't know. I think it was going to go somewhere on the line. Like, if it's a game that you really enjoy, it's a way to, like, show off that you've accomplished something that only 0.01% of the player base is bothered to achieve. Not because it's particularly hard, maybe because it just requires a lot of time and, like, doing things perfectly. And it's just, like, a way to show off your...
But do you
friends,
so you are a completionist, you platinumed Uncharted. Aside from telling us to other individuals now, how frequently would you say you've shared that achievement with other people?
I mean, not much, I mean, I had, like, anyone who was a PlayStation friend go on your profile and see how many platinum trophies you have, and then it's like...
Does anybody do that?
Oh, cool, you got them in Overwatch. I mean, maybe not, but maybe someone does.
I don't know.
And it's like, you do see it. But it's not like, you don't do it because you're like, oh, I want to show it to my friends. But it's like, that's one of the reasons, maybe. Another one is like, you just want to do it because it's the game you enjoy. And it's like, the reasons I did those ones was because I really like the Uncharted games. And I was like, I want to keep experiencing them.
But so we agree that the only reason that they're in this sort of self-contained achievements world, I wish there was a better way for me to say this, but you know what I mean. The reason that they're extrinsic from the games, that they exist outside of the games, the only reason for that is so that you can share them and see the rarity of them.
No, they also increase the longevity of the game.
Yeah, of course, but
they
they could be inside the game in that case, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
As in, they don't have
the only reason others can see them.
Exactly. For now, all achievements are they're all the same. As in, I mean, help me, Pilgrim. What am I trying to say?
Okay, so I see what you're saying is that there's a standardized system
right
that's outside the game, and the developers are asked, make 50 trophies, say, for PlayStation. And while it is true that some games, if you take Diablo 3, for example, inside Diablo 3, I can't remember the terminology they use, but there's a whole load of stuff you can do, like find all of Cain's books and find Wart's 8 legs or whatever. But yeah, in general, it's a standardized system,
right?
And I think Monkey's point is that you might as well put that system into the game, because if the intended function is to extend the longevity of the game by making people feel like they're not done with it until they have collected 100 ravens, then why not just put that into the game?
Right, and if you did put it in the game, you then suddenly have the power to actually do something with those achievements. So, if you find all of Cain's books, you can you get a new book, or Deckard Cain gets a new outfit or whatever. But you don't have that.
Or you identify things. It's always free. In a special way, or something special happens.
All kinds of
new ability.
Right. I mean, I really like the idea of putting Mahatma Gandhi in a Indiana Jones hat, but you get the idea.
Yeah. No, for definitely.
So I guess my question is, which I genuinely curious because I don't know, why is it in this sort of self-contained framework? Yeah. Which is
so what I was going to say about that framework is that I think it's to do with the games of this. So maybe this is to take this into a bit of a too broad scope than it really warrants. But if I think about the history of games, it's always been prior to the internet, they were very solitary experiences in a way. There wasn't much. I don't know how to express it. There wasn't much sharing of your stats or your achievements and stuff, because you were just playing. You got the game. You're playing it for yourself, by yourself.
We're talking about video games here, right?
Yeah, video games, sure.
Yeah,
but the way that it works now is, if you just take then and now, it's extremely different. You've got your profile. People can see what you've achieved. There's targets for you to do, and you can like Doodle says, you can show off on your profile. I mean, I also do that. The game with the best achievements, and to my mind, which I'll get back to later, Europa Universalis, I show off those trophies on my profile. I don't think anyone really cares except me. But it's sort of a social aspect to the game. You're sort of connecting.
It's like a way to express yourself.
Yeah, you're communicating to the community. Yeah, with the community around the game. So I think that's the thing that generated their this extrinsic. I don't know what you called it, Monkey, but some sort of extrinsic system. It's the community around games.
I guess I've just never really felt that, I suppose, basically. The community from gaming for me came from either talking to people about it or playing games with them, and I never got the achievements thing. And I don't... I was gonna say, like, in Steam and on Xbox and stuff, the achievement points actually counted towards, like, your profile score, I guess. You had, like on Steam, you have, like, a level. Right. Does that give... And then... Does that have any kind of tangible effect?
No,
okay, just
not really.
Good.
You get little badges that show on your profile. The higher level you are, the more games you play, I guess.
I mean, I'm not advocating that achievements need to give you some kind of monetary reward. And I have done, I can't think now exactly which games, but I'm sure there have been ones where I've seen an achievement and thought, ooh, why not I give that a go? I think it might have been Sleeping Dogs. Great game, by the way. Did you ever play that, Pilgrim?
No.
Oh man, it's so good. You did though, right, Doodle?
No.
You guys didn't play Sleeping Dog, the one set in Hong Kong?
No, I never did.
No, I don't know.
Oh man, you guys missed out.
Didn't even know that was a game. I thought you were making a joke.
No, it's like the best. It's like it's this fantastic like GTA clone, but actually good set in Hong Kong, and with like kung fu fighting. Basically, it's amazing. Anyway,
that does sound good.
Oh man, I'm gonna buy that for one of you.
Yeah. Pick me. Anyway, so let me see what I was going to say about achievement. Yeah, so what I wanted to get to was on the one hand, I'm sort of with Sleep Monkey on this, that when you've got achievements which are just collect tasks, it's so dislocated from the sort of core gameplay loops of the game that it just feels ridiculous to put them in, because then when you have folks who have this sort of completionist, who have, you could put it like this, players who have become completionists by playing games where achievements were part of the gameplay mechanics, they're suddenly placed in a position where now, in order for them to get to fulfill their tick, and to get the 50 out of 50 achievements, they now need to go and pick up 100 pieces of paper hidden across the map. So on the one hand, I think me and Sleep Monkey think that that's not something that we're very interested in doing, but on the other hand, Doodle is pretty interested in doing that, and so clearly there's some sort of spectrum or variation across gamers, and that's fun. But there's a different type of achievement that I think is worth discussing, and that's the ones that genuinely prompt you to do something differently, or to explore sometimes even a whole different part of the game that you wouldn't have explored otherwise. And they can be... So when I think of those ones, I think of... we've used Skyrim so much as an example in our first episode, but I can use Skyrim again now. It's about all the different quest chains for you to complete, the different guilds and so on and so forth. But maybe mostly in strategy games, where you're tasked with fulfilling a specific aim or winning on a certain condition which is very challenging. And then it's like a sort of test of your skill.
Right.
It's almost like another difficulty level.
It actually, you know what I mean? It makes me think of Kingdom Come, because I believe they have the I cannot remember the name of the achievement, but there's an achievement for playing the whole game through without drinking, sleeping with anybody, or fighting except the boss fight.
Yes.
And that's an achievement where you basically play as a priest.
There was a really good one in Left 4 Dead, and I presume... Well, it was Left 4 Dead 2 I played it. I presume it was in Left 4 Dead 1 as well. It was to get the gnome.
Oh, that's right.
To
carry the gnome. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember.
And you had to do it through the whole stories, like all 5 chapters.
That's insane.
I remember I made like some... Yeah. I made some friends on Xbox, and We tried to do it on like the hardest difficulty and stuff,
Yeah.
and we never got it. It was so hard.
Noam Chomsky, I think he was called.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But that was fun because it was like a challenge.
Yeah.
And it was like...
That's true.
You know, like when you reach halfway through the level, it's like, okay, we're halfway there, we're making more progress than we had before.
Okay, so I think
Yeah.
I agree. These are quite interesting, and it's true that they make you play the game in a way that you perhaps wouldn't otherwise. I mean, I think previously when there were fewer games, or maybe when I could afford fewer games, I did find ways to recycle my games. You know, like I would play GTA 3 again, but I would only drive taxis. You know, or you know, I'd always find a way. So perhaps it's just helpful to do that. But I still think there's a lot of bad achievements, which I think we were.
And also, actually, thinking about Noam Chomsky, and the gnome rather than what even is he? A linguist, I guess. Anyway, the Noam Chomsky. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh yeah,
got lost in your own reference.
It does pose Sleeve Monkey's question: why isn't that achievement in game?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that being?
But I mean, how would you rather it be?
Well, the point being that you could have in game a list of, they could be called, you know, challenges, and if you succeed with the challenges, you get a modification for a gun, or maybe just a custom skin.
Yeah, a custom
or maybe
skin.
you can summon Noam Chomsky to help you defeat zombies in a difficult area, or whatever. You can, because as it is now, you get the achievement. It doesn't really mean anything.
Right.
And it's doomed to always not mean anything because it's outside of the game.
Yes.
And unless you create a system which mirrors the achievement system in the game,
right?
Like I think Diablo 3
and
done, and some of
I think Uplay did that as well, the Ubisoft one.
Oh, right.
And I think they actually did. You could redeem those, I think, for stuff in the game.
Yep. I remember when we played For Honor.
That's right. Back in the day.
We did some stuff. We got we got some sort of
like a For Honor badge
we could put on our shield.
Exactly, and that's
really good.
It was quite neat. The Uplay is just this horrible lumbering system.
Oh, I hate it so much.
But that was a good. I mean, that was quite a clever way.
That was a neat thing, and I agree with that. But the
sorry,
really
just
good achievement,
because we said something nice about Ubisoft, I do also want to say that Ubisoft have some of the worst achievements and some of the worst like fillers. Quest. Anyway, sorry, that was
you
it.
Felt you were being too nice.
I felt I was being too nice to Ubisoft. Yeah, I did. Shit a
little bit. Even though I don't like running around collecting things, I can see that maybe for folks who do, the Assassin's Creed games might be it might be fair to consider them stuffed full of content if you regard those things as content. You know, maybe it's just a case that you and I, Sleep Monkey, we don't like that sort of content, and for that reason we think that it's just, you know, a waste of time. But maybe there are people who genuinely enjoy that. It seems to be the case. Likes it.
It's like a really pretty piñata, and then when you beat it open, you don't get candy. You get like loads of to-do lists.
But the thing is, like, okay, so it depends on like the nature of achievements, because I was playing... What game was it? Oh, no, actually it was Civ 5. And that game has, like... How many achievements? Do you know, really?
Oh, yeah, there's lots. Let me...
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't...
I'm just going to do a quick check, because I'm actually curious about this.
I will have a look.
Yeah, okay.
We'll have a look.
So...
You keep going.
I am not even going to begin to work my way through that game's achievement list. It's just massive. And they're all stuff like have an American archaeologist dig up an Egyptian one with a German archaeologist next to him. You have to get so far in the game for that to happen. You have to be playing as America with Germany in the game. And I think with Egypt, having played in it earlier, it's so specific.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to go try those. Whereas a game like with Uncharted, which didn't have that many achievements, I had less than 100, I think, and most of those you collected by playing the game just through, you know.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
So it's like, you know, I really enjoyed it. It's like it's fine to go back and do the extra ones that are a bit more unusual, a bit more fun, and a bit more challenging, because you get to experience the game that you enjoy in Not necessarily like a different way,
Right.
but you're working towards something and you're still having fun.
Yeah,
'Cause it's-
yeah.
I just want to answer. I was going to answer the question real quick. Sorry, before you go, Sleep Monkey. That
Of course.
there are 286 achievements,
That's not too bad.
and this is I don't know. I think I might have said Civ 4 before, but Civ 5 is the one I played over 600 hours of, and I have 166 of them.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but what I mean to say by that is that
You can brag. That's what we're just talking about.
No, but what
That's
he
the
means
whole
is
point
he's
of
playing
these
loads,
is
and he hasn't even indented how many.
Well, no, I think
Yeah,
I
that's-
think what
that's
I think
precisely
what he
what I
was
mean.
saying was, see me,
Check,
notice me,
validate
validate me.
Yeah. No, but so if I look, I mean, just because I brought this up on Steam now, but they are quite ridiculous. Like Doodle says, the achievement I have, which is the rarest, is called "Here's Looking at You, Kid," and it says, as Morocco, you have to airlift a civilian unit from Casablanca to Portugal's original capital, which means that you have to have played a game where you are Morocco, Portugal is in the game, you capture Portugal's capital, and then for some reason build an airport in both, and then transport a civilian unit.
Did you do this on
from one to the
purpose?
other. No, but I mean it seems to be an extremely unlikely thing to happen.
And how many people have that?
0.4% of people who have played this game.
Do we have a?
But that's like the thing is, so these achievements are hidden, so you just Google them, right? And then it's like, okay, I have to do that, and it's like you have to, I don't know,
Yeah, I mean,
it's like play through the whole thing.
Yeah, right. So these are quite funny, I guess, but they don't fill the criteria of making you play the game in a different way by any means.
No, but they're still quite. So yeah, that's fair. But I still think these are quite fun because I mean, I'm going to close this now because I'm getting distracted. But one of them here says, as Carthage, you have to attack a Roman unit with an African elephant from a mountain tile.
Is that Hannibal?
That's a pretty. Yeah, it's called Hannibal something. But that's a pretty cool achievement to have, and it's pretty flavoursome.
Sure. No, sure. They're fun, right? But they're not, they're not going to impact your game experience in any major way.
No. So I think that maybe one of the functions of achievements is when you, as a developer, you've made a game where you can play it in very many different ways. It's mechanically complex. It's rich in choice. It's sort of fluid in your decision trees. And you want to say, look, I know you finished it, but look at all these other things you could have done. And I think for that purpose, I mean, like that one you mentioned in Kingdom Come about playing it as a teetotaling pacifistic virgin.
Yeah.
Is a different way to play the game. And that genuinely does increase the longevity of the game, and not in that sort of slightly artificial way that just hiding things in the map does.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more things you have to say about achievements. Feels a little bit like we've sort of covered.
I think we might have done
the topic, but I'm about to make one of the most amazing transitions in the history of the planet.
Right. Do you want a drum roll, or are you good?
No. I can. It's spectacular enough even without a drum roll.
We'll add one in later. Post-production.
What I wanted to end with was, and I know this is a game that you guys haven't played, Europa Universalis 4, and I'm the only real strategy buff who will spend hundreds of hours playing that game. But to me, that has the absolute best achievements, because it does what I said was the best achievements do when we started this conversation, which is they'll pose us a challenge for you to do something which is actually quite difficult. Which is a sort of like a challenge for you as a player. It's the developer saying, yeah, you may be good at this game, but have you tried playing as this minor kingdom in the Middle East and rebuilding Saladin's empire, for example? And the thing about it is that you only can score achievements in Europa Universalis when you play on Ironman mode, which is when the game auto saves each month. You yourself cannot save, and your one save is being constantly overwritten. So you can never, realize, like, oh shit, 20 years ago I shouldn't have invaded Poland.
Hardcore mode.
Yeah, exactly. It's like hardcore mode, like in Diablo. If you die, you're dead. and in EU4, if you screw up seriously, you've screwed up seriously, and then you might have missed your chance. And so the really difficult achievements in Europa Universalis are truly impressive if people have got, because it means that they've played the game for 400 years in-game time, which can be, up to 100 hours.
Right.
And they've made essentially zero mistakes. And that's very impressive as a challenge. And so this leads to a topic I was going to bring up on another day, which is what you guys think about Ironman and quick saves. Because what I know for myself, I wouldn't have got into Ironman mode, I don't think, if those achievements hadn't been there to prompt me. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried hardcore Ironman.
It's similar, in fact, to the way that Kingdom Come worked post-patch, so when it first released, you could only save in a bed, I think, or if you drank like a savior schnapps or some shit like that. And so if you were in the middle of the forest and all of a sudden you have to like go, you just lost everything. You couldn't save it.
Do you mean like we?
No, not that. unless you had to go for a sufficiently long time that your PlayStation turned off. But you had to basically lose all your progress.
Yeah.
But then they introduced the same concept where you basically have one save. Whenever you quit, it saves, and whenever you start the game, it destroys that save. So you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great. It depends on the game, I think. And who doesn't love kind of quick saving and then killing a village? But it depends on the game.
It just depends on the game.
Just
because I mean, for me, if the Iron Man mode games I've played and enjoyed are stuff like X-Man and EU4, and the function they serve in those games, and because you could imagine this being transported into other strategy games like Civ 5, Civ 6, or even shifted into different genres, I think, because the function they serve is to say, you might be doing very well, but then you fuck up, and instead of reloading, you now have to somehow manage the consequences of your fuck up. And in Kingdom Come, I guess it's if you maybe accidentally kill an important character, or lose an item, or lose a bet, or lose that archery contest against someone.
Yeah.
And in the EU4, it's more like, you failed this invasion of this country, and now your army's dead, and you can't just reload and do it again perfectly, because that's the sort of temptation. And I think without that, in particular in strategy games, and again, I know Doodle's played a lot of Civilization, but if you play Civilization single player Doodle, I guess the temptation is always there. If you do something that really doesn't work out, that you just load a save from a few turns ago and undo it.
Mm.
Yeah, of course.
But then the game isn't actually challenging.
No.
In a way, it's still challenging, but you never have to. There's a whole aspect of the game which is robbed from it, which is that you never have
you can say about any game
to manage. Yeah, and well, that's the point I'm trying to make. There's this aspect of games where part of the challenge is managing the outcome of your poor decisions or poor plays, and that disappears when you can just load without any sort of negative consequences.
Yeah, of course. It's the thing with games where it's like when they should only save when you exit.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I guess in theory it sounds excellent, and I do like the idea of it, as long as it doesn't become this just ridiculously frustrating thing where you just keep dying, basically.
Yeah. I remember Mountain Blade, where it was
a harsh game.
It was an extremely harsh game, and you could have that Iron Man mode where you only had one save and it auto saved. I think anyway.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you had that, and you'd have a battle where you had this epic fight with another lord. You might win, but you yourself were injured, so you had like 1 HP left.
Mm.
And then directly after the battle, you might have 30 men left. You're too injured, and you get attacked by 40 bandits. Now you can't fight, so you have to rely on the auto resolve function, where your team fights their team, and then a winner is picked by some sort of algorithm.
Yeah.
And sometimes in those instances,
you get kidnapped.
You'd be inexplicably your army would lose against bandits, and now you're kidnapped, and they drag you around the map
I remember
humiliatingly.
this.
Yeah, And so, yeah, sure, those functions it's pretty cool. But then again, that creates
a good narrative. Yeah, no, it's interesting. It really is.
And that narrative is robbed from you if it's just like, oh, you just have one endless string of victories.
I agree. I mean, I can't remember what game we were playing lately where we said, well, I guess it was Divinity Original Sin 2, where we just said, listen, let's just roll with it. You know, if we
we had to make that rule.
Yeah, and it turned out being really interesting. You know, I think Doodle ended up basically killing like 90% of the NPCs. But it was really interesting.
What? How did I do that?
In Divinity.
I'm trying to think what I did.
Well, there was that one.
It sounds familiar.
There was that elf by the beach. There was the first encounter where you decided to just start fighting everybody.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of elves you were killing.
There's a lot of elves. Yeah, I think there's some speciesism.
Oh yeah, no, it's kind of come back to
something weird going on. But yeah, no, I think that makes for some interesting narrative, and the more because on the it can be seen as sort of a cutesy function in a game on the sort of just exterior when you just consider it. But the more you look into it, there's whole experiences in a game that are robbed from you, or not robbed, I guess, denied you if you
just do a perfect run,
constantly reload.
Reload.
You get it's like the Alexander the Great way of playing Mount and Blade. You know, you never lose until you have that one last battle when you just think, fuck, this is too difficult, then you rage quit.
Yeah.
This has sort of moved on from achievements, although in a way it's connected to achievements, because if you one of the things I like about the achievements in Europa Universalis is you only unlock them if you've been playing on Ironman. So in Civilization, it's not really that impressive if you've got, you know, you've managed it on an extremely difficult setting under extremely difficult conditions, because you could just, you know, as soon play a few turns, realize you made a mistake, reload, and then do something different.
Yeah, of course.
But when you have a situation where you have to have achieved it without messing up, it becomes incredibly impressive. So, for example, if you look at Doom now, the recent one that came out last year, was it? Maybe 2016.
Mm-hmm.
When you've completed that game, you unlock, I can't remember what the setting is called. I think it's called Ultra Nightmare, which I tried to play but pathetically failed at. Where there's permadeath, so you can die once and you lose, and you have to start from the beginning on it's like the most difficulty setting on crack. It's like even more difficult, and you have to try and get as far as you can, and they know you're going to die, and then when you die, you get a little sort of grave marker, and you can also see the grave markers of other players who've died. So you can see how far you get in the world. And so an achievement which I've seen, I think there's one, which is you complete the game on that setting. Now that really is an achievement.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's genuine. That's genuinely is something. But if I see someone in Skyrim like, okay, you have to reach level 50 and then kill a dragon with a dildo, it's like, yeah, fine, but you could have done that on easy.
Well, the most like really annoying ones to me are when you get like an achievement for just following the main story plot. You know, it feels really like belittling. You know, it's like I was going to do that anyway. You know, like don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well done. You are playing this game. Keep playing this game. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Gee, congratulations! You managed to make it through 2 hours. Of this
exactly. Game. I mean, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. You're doing very well.
More achievement than
true.
I can't remember which game this is, but I genuinely remember a game where you got an achievement for having played 100 hours.
Well, isn't that the Stanley? Was it the Stanley Parable? Is that the one? It has the one where it has an achievement called "Go Outside," where you have to have not played the game for 10 years. I think it was. That was literally one of the achievements.
That's very good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that in a way, so this is what I guess this is to sort of complete a loop back to achievements, which I didn't imagine doing on the outset. But
that's how life works.
One of the just another happy accident. Yeah. But I just think that one of the reasons that achievements don't feel like they're worth anything is because they're not really very difficult to do in a lot of games. Certainly in strategy games. I mean, God of War killing that last Valkyrie on the hardest difficulty setting.
I
I
mean,
don't know if that is an achievement, but if it
Should
is,
be.
then chapeau to anyone who does that.
Yeah, for sure.
But in other, in strategy games, for example, it's just not very impressive if you've done something difficult, if you have the godlike ability to reload the whole time. And XCOM was another game that really sort of reminded me of that. I don't know if you guys ever played XCOM.
I played, I think, like the way original ones. Back like, oh man, was it like Terror from the Deep or something like that? Was that the one?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a very good game.
Yeah,
a game like Dota has no achievements.
Yeah, and is also
that's really weird.
Not very fun. So I don't know what.
No, but obviously you can make loads of really good achievements in that game, like win 100 matches, reach a certain rating.
But why are
and
those?
They'd actually be.
But that's
be
the thing is why are those?
Because you're going to do that anyway.
Achievements.
Well,
because if you
because it can be hard to win that many games.
Yeah,
and it can be hard to reach a certain rating.
Doodle, if I play 8,000 hours of Dota, I will be carried at least 100 times.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's not the only thing
I
you've
mean,
achieved.
You can make ones that are actually very.
This is
but that's what I mean. Don't just do 100 wins. Do something like, I don't know, win with this hero.
No, but like with this hero. Yeah, exactly.
But I think,
but not just with that hero. It's like with this hero, only using this item, or with this constellation of heroes.
Have dealt over a certain amount of hero damage. Or
but these achievements, win 100 games, or whatever, they're becoming a bit more like badges, which I think are good as well. I quite like. Well, it's become like a badge that you can wear. I won 100 games.
Oh, I was thinking of the
badges.
The animal.
What the fuck?
No, like a badge, like that you wear.
Do you think about it?
Like a medal.
They're a lot like badges.
I was wondering how you're going to get that to work.
That would be more interesting. I'm sorry. No, they're like
I was
badges.
a bit disappointed.
Well, for example, I quite enjoyed the way that it worked in Battlefield, where you got your dog tags based on stuff that you'd managed to do. So if you got 50 headshots, for example, you'd have a special dog tag. I thought that was a really neat system. That's actually a type of achievements that seems to mean something, because you can flaunt it and you can show it off to people. You get like a tangible thing, and also if somebody kills you, then they can see it. They kill you in a specific way.
WoW does that very well.
It was if you stabbed someone.
Yeah, I think if you stabbed them, you could steal their dog tag.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
also if they killed you, I think you got if I killed somebody, they could see my dog tag. I think.
Yes.
Which I mean that I like that. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think it's a good way of giving achievements, but also letting people flaunt it or show it in a way that's actually quite meaningful.
I don't know though. Like, if I kill someone, I mean, maybe. See, now I'm sort of betraying the fact that I'm not really a sort of multiplayer shooter person.
Yeah.
But if I've shot someone in Battlefield on the PlayStation, which happens extremely rarely, mostly by accident, but if I have done that, I don't feel better if I've got a badge that says, fuck you, I've done 100 headshots.
Well, that's because you never did 100 headshots. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, if I have a badge that says I've driven in the tank for 300 hours, it doesn't.
Yeah, but maybe it was something that was like cool,
that's what I mean. Like, so
to pull off 100, 360 no scopes.
Exactly, like revive
while screaming down the microphone.
Revive somebody while in a parachute, or jump out of one plane and jump into another plane or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then also, like, I don't know. Maybe you care more about what the other people, but it doesn't make me feel better that whichever schmuck I just knifed in the back can now see that I once jumped out of a plane.
It's not, it's not
managed to defibrillate someone on the way down to that.
I mean, it's not for everyone, but someone who cares deeply about the game is gonna like that.
It's also not but it's not like every time I kill someone, I'm like rubbing my hands, thinking, "Ooh, they got to see my dog tag." It's more just the sense of community, because you had to choose as well. So you might have, I had like, I don't know, some pretty good dog tags, but maybe I'd choose the one which is like 500 machine gun kills, because people would be like, who the fuck uses a machine gun that much, you know? It's just like kind of a sense of community as well.
Yeah, because
yeah.
the thing it reminded me of in terms of sense of community is the sense of community in the original Halo.
A big teabag.
Of teabagging someone. because that's basically what you're doing. You're like, I've killed you, and now you get my nutsack in your face. Like,
well, because you could also do like you could also have like a number of revives or supports given or whatever. I thought it was quite well done.
I suppose that's nice. But I mean, this is basically what Doodle was saying before, that you get this the badger that you feature on your profile. That's because you're showing, I've achieved this and I'm part of this community.
Right, but these ones are stuff that you do in the course of the game, but that you've done either a lot of or done particularly well. It's not perform 100 ledge kills in this single player game just for the sake of performing 100 ledge kills. Run around a pillar 50 times. Like, okay, now stand on one leg and tap your head. It's not that. It's
WoW has like a good system. But I mean, there's over like 3,000 achievements, and some of them more significant than others. And some of them give you like titles, which will like appear before your name, so you can see you're like John the fucker, and then it's like, how did you get the fucker achievement? And you can type in the fucker, and it says like, you need to like fuck 1,000 people in PvP.
Yeah,
and then it's like, damn, that guy fucked 1,000 people in PvP.
Yeah. This was the same.
Then, he's good.
Actually, this was in the original Red Dead as well. Sorry, just to jump in there, because I'm actually looking at my PlayStation now, waiting for it to turn midnight so I can download the patch. But the original Red Dead had that as well, where you could get like ranch hand, and I think they were only level based, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were.
But that would have been a great.
But so then you get titles and you get mounts as well.
That's
so
right.
You're flying around on your massive like dildo. They know.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we have fucking unlocked the achievement, which is talk about achievements for longer than anyone should.
Longer than anyone has.
Longer than anyone has. Spend more time.
I reckon only like 0.4% of people.
I think
have that.
it's called spend more time thinking about achievements than the people who invented the achievement system. And I guess that's all we got.
Achievement unlocked. Look at your unlocked achievements for the first time in 10 years.
All right. Well, I've got to go and unlock some achievements. So catch you all on the next episode.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. If you managed to stick your way through that.
Yeah. All right.
The end.
Consider that achievement.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to another installment of the Critical Mass podcast. We really hope you enjoyed the show, and we'd love to hear from you. You can tweet us at criticalmasspod or reach out on our website, thecriticalmass.com. That's all one word. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to share, or maybe something you'd like us to talk about. On our website, you'll also find all our other cool stuff, like in-depth articles, podcast summaries, reviews, all the cool stuff like that. And if you like the episode, we'd be really grateful if you'd share it with a friend or someone you think would like the show. You or they can find us on all the major podcast streaming services like iTunes and Spotify. And lastly, a big thank you to Hakoon for letting us use his awesome music on the podcast. The song is called Lucidness, and you can find Hakoon, that's HAKKUUN, on SoundCloud or wherever you stream your music. Once again, thank you for listening. This has been the Critical Mass Podcast, and we'll be back with another episode in no time at all.